I picked up your baby sister and I pulled my back. No, she's not heavy. I just picked her up wrong. I threw out my back putting Maddie. We used to have a baby gate in front of the bathroom to keep her from, drowning in the toilet or whatever. And so she had to go to the bathroom. So I picked her up with one hand and I set her over the baby gate, and I couldn't move. I had like thrown my back out just picking up. She wasn't but 30 pounds or whatever, if she's that much. So I have one verse to read, y'all. Okay? And then we're gonna do something different. I've been reading Isaiah, and I've wanted to read Isaiah for a while now because it's all about prophecy, and like it calls Christ before Christ was born, like, and so it's just amazing. But is Isaiah, oh gosh, what is it, 20, it's not 26, is it 26:13? O Lord our God, other lords besides you have led dominion over us, but through you alone we confess your name. Like, I read that and it just hit me. Like, O Lord our God, other lords beside you have had dominion over us, but through you alone we confess your name. Like, that is just, that right there, I mean, what's a Lord in your life? What's a Lord in your life?
Money.
Money. That's often a struggle for people.
Video games.
Video games. You let video games dictate what you're gonna do, and maybe because even like, what should be a Lord in your life?
Other people. As in
You're gonna have you're gonna have lords in your life. You are going to have people who you are under authority to, and that's what a lord is. It's your a lord is almost like a prince of sorts. Okay, they're given dominion over an area.
This probably is the wrong answer, but my landlord?
Your landlord is a lord in your life, yes, and it's an appropriate lord, and it's good that you made that connection, because that's what the word means. Lord means the person who is in charge of the area that you live in, and your landlord is in charge of the house you live in. I have a landlord now. We sold our house and now we're renting, so I went from being the lord of my own area to having a lord and having to submit. If I wanted to paint my daughter's bedroom black 2 months ago, I could have done it. I know, wouldn't that have been awesome? But now, if I want to do that, I have to ask permission from my landlord. Can I paint my daughter's room black? And she'll tell me no, because landlords don't like black rooms. But if I said, what if I painted it a light pink? Would that be okay? And she said, like a hot pink or like a pastel pink? And if I said a hot pink, she would say, how about a pastel pink? And then I could paint it a pastel pink, okay? Which my daughter would not want. But, so that's kind of a thing that you can have with a lord in your life. Your boss at work. Would that be a lord in your life?
Yeah.
Okay, is that an appropriate lord in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So like teachers and principals?
Teachers and principals are going to be lords in your life.
Mom.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think your mom is the most prime example of a lord in your life. Your parents are your examples of God. Like that, the Bible tells parents that you are training them in how to respond to me. Okay? And so here Isaiah is saying, O Lord our God, other lords besides you have had dominion over us, but through you alone we confess your name. You're going to have lords in... Okay, so we talked about appropriate lords. What about inappropriate lords in your life?
Money.
Money. Jesus said you can worship money or you can worship God, but you can't worship both. Yeah?
Can't have two masters.
You can't have two masters, that's right. What else?
A cow.
A cow. Yeah. There's literally an example of that in the Bible too.
That's what I said.
Cows.
They did.
Chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah, you could absolutely let food be a leading factor in your life. You could let food dictate how you act and respond. You know what? It's okay to have ice cream every once in a while. But if you say, I'm just not okay if I haven't had ice cream after dinner, like I'm going to be mean to people, I'm going to be rude to people, no, that's not right. I mean, the Bible says in the house of the wise there are stores of choice food and oil. Like, so it's okay. It's okay to have have a stash of chocolate bars in your cabinet, but you don't want to eat chocolate bars all the time. But if you have friends come over and you say, "Hey, would you like a chocolate bar?" That's using something that could be bad and using it in a way that's good. Sharing with other people and showing other people you love them. That's a godly principle. Sharing is caring. That's right. So that's a way you can but take money, for example.
Popularity rates?
Yeah, you could let popularity be a lord in your life. Like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to. I know we got a lot of homeschool kids, but we got a lot of school kids too. If you let popularity dictate how you treat other people, like I can't be friends with that person, I can't be nice to that person because then my popular friends aren't gonna like me anymore, and then they're gonna treat me bad. So I'm gonna be mean to the ugly kid who is poor just so my popular friends will like me. That's not biblical at all. That's letting popularity be a lord in your life. Yeah, absolutely. Clothes. Fashion. Fashion can be a lord in your life. If you forsake people so that you can have the nicest things. Yes. Does that mean it's wrong to wear gold earrings?
No.
No. But what if you're taking your clothing to a point where it's hurting other people? Yeah, that would be wrong. So, like, when I read this, I got those kind of things going on in my head, like, oh, where in my life am I letting something be a lord over me? I watch a lot of YouTube. Okay? I probably don't watch nearly as many slime videos as y'all do, but, right?
I just listen to music.
Yeah.
I watch James Uriah.
I listen to a lot of sermons on YouTube because there's a lot of preachers and pastors on YouTube, and there's a lot of good teaching where they just sit down and they talk through like one thing or one specific verse or one specific thing. You know, they'll talk through that, and then sometimes it's just broad spectrum preaching, which is good too. You gotta have both.
Speaking of stuff on the camera, what is this show?
I put all of this on YouTube.
Oh.
And what is it called?
Huh?
What's the channel?
Well, if you go to the New Beginnings Youth Group Facebook page, I post them on there. I put this on YouTube and then I share it with the New Beginnings Youth Group Facebook page.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's just my personal channel. I don't really have anything much on it. It's mostly these videos. So, I also put the Wednesday night youth group stuff on there too. It doesn't really have a name. It's just I just title it whatever. Like this one will probably be titled Isaiah 26:13. I'll literally call it Isaiah 26:13 New Beginnings Children's Church, August 9th, 10th.
I think there is where you can find it on YouTube.
You would have to search New Beginnings Children's Church or New Beginnings Youth Group, and it should pull up my channel. Or you could search my name. Probably would work too, maybe. So,
Might take a while.
well, if y'all watched them, you'd be the only ones. So, but I do put this up there in case your parents want to know what it is I'm teaching you. They can look that up and they can see exactly what it is that I'm teaching. So, but I have lords in my life that dictate what I do, and I need to examine, are they godly? Because God says to submit to the authority that you're placed under. Okay, there's a really popular verse. I think it's Romans 13. And I'm just going to flip over there and find out, because why not? And Paul talks about how you're supposed to submit to the authority of others. Let every person be subject to the governing authority, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. So, like, yeah, you're going to have lords, and that's talking about lords, literal lords in your life, your landlord. Should you fight your landlord? If your landlord says, don't paint the house, should you paint the house? No, because you will be subject to judgment, okay? But that doesn't mean that you can't negotiate with your landlord. That doesn't mean you can't approach your landlord and ask, and say, well, if I do this, can I do that? You know, you need to be subject to the authority that you're under, okay? Even if you don't always agree with that authority, unless that authority is in direct opposition to the Bible. Now, if your landlord tells you that you have to paint like swastikas and pentagrams and stuff all over the inside of the house, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. You would not be disobeying God by not doing that, because swastikas are, you know, Nazi hate symbols, and so, you know, Nazis killed millions and millions of Jews, and those are God's people, and so you really don't want to associate with that. And pentagrams are, people consider them to be satanic emblems, and so you don't want to be associated with that either, because you are called to protect your reputation, and so it would be unbiblical for you to participate in that kind of activity. Yes. So you do have to be subject to authority, to your lords, but who are you being lorded by? That's the thing that you need to figure out. Are you spending all your time watching slime videos on YouTube?
No.
Like now I watch a couple of news things, and I watch certain pastors. There are quite a number of pastors that I like to watch. But then there's other stuff that I watch on YouTube. Like, I like to watch people make stuff, like build cabinets or boats or stuff like that. And it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to have chocolate in your house, right?
Yeah.
So is it okay for me to watch a guy build a boat?
Yeah. You should help.
Is it okay for me to watch a lady dance around in a bikini?
Probably not.
Oh, see, that's a different thing, isn't it?
Well, if it's dancing with the stars, that's different.
I don't think so. I disagree with you on that. But like, no, that's not okay. That doesn't mean that everything's okay for you to have. Okay? Just because it's okay to have chocolate, just because it's okay for me to watch a guy build a boat on YouTube, but that doesn't mean I should spend all my time watching people build boats, right? Okay? So, you got to be aware of what you're letting be a Lord in your life, because you don't have to let anything be a Lord in your life that you don't want. Okay? Now, if you disagree with your landlord says, no, you can't paint over the swastikas and pentagrams in your house, then you move. You don't submit to that authority. Okay? And you might just, you might be called to paint over it. No, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to paint over it anyway. But you have to make that decision with God. That's between you and God, not you, or not your landlord. Okay? But I just thought that verse was like super powerful, and I just accidentally came across it, and it was awesome. So that's my lesson for y'all today.
Hi.
Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now